Hello, this is your study guide for your slope quiz. First instruction, given the graph, please find the slope. Make sure to simplify. Remember, these are fractions, so you need to have them in simplest terms. Let's start with number 1. Here is your graph for number 1. If you look at your points, you have a point right here and a point right there. You are going up 3, but you are going over 0. Please recall that zeros in the denominator are not allowed. They are a no-no. So if you cannot have zeros in the denominator, your slope is going to be undefined. Now, if you take a look at your other two questions, it looks as though number 2, if you read number 2 from left to right, your slope is going to be what? And if you look at number 3 from left to right, your slope is going to be what? So we are missing a slope that is 0. So here is what a slope that is 0 will look like, because this might show up on your quiz tomorrow. A horizontal line means that your slope is 0. Moving on to number 2, if you look at your points, you have a point here and a point there. We already declared that if you're reading it from left to right, the slope is going upwards, so it is positive. And let's count. You're going up 2, and you're going over 2. So your slope is 2 over 2. But remember, in the directions it says that we need to simplify. So in your calculator, you can push that ND button. Why don't you do that right now? And when you simplify your fraction, what do you get? 1. Well, you get 1 over 1, which is the same thing as 1. And as you can see, if you go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, you are still on the line. Number 3, we've already noticed that this slope is negative. So let's go ahead and put that negative sign in before we forget to do so. And you are going downwards, and you are going across. Please take a moment and count how many are you going downwards. 3. How many are you going across? 9. And it is correct that you need to always put it in your calculator to make sure that you can or cannot simplify it. Just as a matter of habit, just check it out. If you put that in your calculator, what does it simplify down to? So your slope of that line is negative 1/3. In our next set of directions, I have taken away your graph and I have given you 2 points. You need to show your work. Yes, that means you need to write down what the numbers are. And don't forget, these are fractions, so you need to simplify. Let's begin by labeling these so we don't get confused. This is X and this is Y, but these are your first set, so you have a subscript of 1. This is X and this is Y, but it's our second set, so you have a subscript of 2. Go ahead and write down your fraction bar and your subtraction signs, because you know it's going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is the formula that we're going to use and plug in every single time. So what are you going to write in the numerator? Your your y2 value is 4. And your y1 value is 0. What are you going to write in the denominator? Your x2 value is -2. And your x1 value is 10. Please, please, please don't do anything fancy here. Absolutely, you need to do this in your calculator just because there's going to be integer work that you need to do, and your calculator will do it for you. 4 minus 0 is 4. In your calculator, you need to push -2 minus 10. You're going to get -12. Always, always, always check your calculator to see if you need to simplify, and you do. What do you get when you simplify that fraction? -1/3. Number 5. Again, let's label it. This is your x, this is your y. This is also an x, and this is also a y. Please make sure you label them with a subscript of 2 because they are your second set of x and y values. Set up your formula and start plugging in your numbers. y2 minus y1. What is your y2 value? 5. What is your y1 value? It is 8. Okay, so we have our y2 minus our y1. What is your x2 value? -7. And don't forget, you need to make sure that you have that negative with that 7. So that means the only number we have left is also -7. Please note, because this has been an accident, this subtraction sign is with the formula. This negative sign is because x1 is -7. That certainly makes a difference when you plug it into your calculator. 5 minus 8 is -3. And be very cautious that you plug in your calculator exactly like you're supposed to. -7 minus -7 is 0. 0. 0 in the denominator. What does that tell you? It tells you that your slope is undefined. Number 6. Just like normal, x, y, x subscript 2, y subscript 2, because those are your second set of values. Set it up. Which one of those values is your y2? It is 3. Which one of those values is your y1? It is 1. In the denominator, which one of those values is x2? So you only have one number left. That one number you have left is 1. Use your calculator. 3 minus 1 is 2. 4 minus 1 is 3. Just for the sake of simplification, plug it into your ND button, hit enter. It should be simplified. Here is where slope meets unit rate, meets proportional relationships. Number 7, given the graph, find the unit rate. Be sure to write labels. Okay, as we recall, slope is your change in y over your change in x. So your change in up and down versus your change from side to side. And if you recall, it says write the unit rate in the bottom. What is always in the bottom of the unit rate? 1. So what we are looking for in this particular graph, it shows up really nicely, where our x value, because as you can see, this line represents the x-axis, where our x value is 1, the y value is 60. So that means on this family road trip, they are going 60 miles per 1 hour. That's all you need to do. And in this one, here is the question. If Marcy can type 165 words in 5 minutes, find the unit rate for her typing. This doesn't seem like a slope question, but we could take the time and we could graph that information. We could figure out on the x and y axis 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and we could graph that. We will be doing that later in this unit. But for right now, all you need to know is that she can type 165 words per 5 minutes. I'm leaving the labels off for right now because we'll get to it. Again, that is your change in y over your change in x. For a unit rate, we want the denominator to be what again? 1. What am I going to do to this 5 to get the 1? Well, when you have fractions like this, you're not allowed to subtract or add. You're allowed to multiply or divide. To get 5 to 1, you have to divide by 5. What you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. Grab your calculator really quickly, please. 165 divided by 5 is what? 33. So here is what this means. Marcy can type 33 words in 1 minute. I wonder if that's fast or not. I don't know. Last 2 questions. What type of slope is shown in questions 9 and questions 10? Okay. On question number 9, it looks like that you have a horizontal line. Now, horizontal is not a type of slope, but horizontal tells you something. What type of slope? I mean, think about it like this. Are you going up any? No, you're just going side to side. So you're going up 0, but over like whatever you want. You could be going over 1. You could be going over 5. The important part is that you have a 0 in the numerator. So, what is our slope? It's 0. You can write 0 as a number or you can write 0 as a word. Either one is acceptable. Then, On number 10, you have a vertical line. Whoa, spelling is an issue. Let's try that again. Vertical. Vertical is not a type of slope, but it's an indicator that you are going downwards as many as you want. So I'll put a question mark there. But you are going over 0. As I'm trying to get into your brains, 0 in the denominator is a big no-no. 0 in the denominator means that your slope is undefined. Maybe this trick will work for you, maybe it won't, but I've seen teachers say something like, oh, no. So if you have 0 in the numerator, that means that it's 0. But 0 in the denominator is a big no-no. Just remember that. If it's a no-no, that means your slope is defined. Hey, I hope you have yourself a good day. I hope you take a few minutes to look this over tonight before you have your quiz tomorrow.